Hi everyone. So recently I showed you some of Spellbinders' new releases for July, a lot of Christmas and July kind of things, along with some other collections. I think they launched between 10 and 12 collections. I did a whole unboxing of the Handmade Holidays Christmas kit and showed you some of the add-on items that you can also pick up, and how some of the items even in here are also available for refill, like if you want more of the papers or the pattern paper or those kinds of things. But today I want to focus on the Winter Flowers or Winter Roses stencil set with the Better Press plate. So this is a bundle you can pick up. It can be both things or just the plate. Okay, so they don't sell the stencil by itself because there really is no reason for that. You're going to pair it with the plate. So it's either a bundle like this or just the plate. I'm going to focus on that one today. I'll probably bring out some of the papers from the Handmade Holidays Christmas kit. And then I think I'm going to pair it possibly with this emerald cut die set from the I think it's Home for the Holidays set. Or collection, should I say. So yeah, so it has that fluting. I love the fluted design. I have other designs like the rectangles and circles and ovals and all those things that were fluted from a collection they had back in the day. So we have that guy, and then it can pair up with this guy. You can make a frame or just that guy, a matte layer, you know, however you want to do those, and then they concentrically go in from there. So really lovely set. Again, probably I'll link both collections so you can see the full collection of the Handmade Holidays and then the Home for the Holidays. And we'll go from there. So yeah, so these items, you know, were sent free of charge from our review, and of course all opinions are my own, and links in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items through those links. Having said that, that's why mine look like this. Yours will not just be loose like this or like on a piece of white paper like this. They usually have inspo, instruction, whatever it might be. A nice carrier, of course. And yeah, so no worries there. So I will bring out my Better Press in just a moment. I think I'm going to grab a card base from in here. I did pop the other items. Like I said, they do have other things that you can... Oh, I'm also going to use the sentiments, I think, from this one. Why not? I do have a little sleigh set that will be separate. I'm going to make an A2 size card. And I think I'm going to cut that Better Press down, like the imagery that we make with it. So probably with this one, so I need a background color. And, you know, it's roses, wintry. It's, you know, I mean, oh, yeah. So in my mind, I'm thinking the reds and pinks. But if you want to make it more wintry, maybe like grays and blues and like silvery colors, that'd be really pretty too. So I'm just going to, oh, you know what? Yes, let's use the gold paper. I was going to do a red background, but we can use this beautiful gold paper for that larger flute design. All right? So we'll have that with this one. And then I'll come back to this in just a moment whenever we're ready for extra embellishing or whatever we might need. So for now, I'm going to run this guy through like that. We'll have that piece. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this from glaring too much for you guys, but I can only do so much. And so there we go. Okay, so we have that guy. I'll put this to the side. I'm going to then cut this down with this. I'm wondering if I still want some background paper for this guy. How big is this? Oh wow, it's right at the edges. Yeah, so it'll be right at the edges of an A2 size. So we're only seeing the little white corners. I was wondering if I need another matte layer behind that. So this guy is a big boy. Definitely will cut an A2 size. And then this one I'm just going to trim down like that, you know. So let me grab some paper and we will get started. Okay, so I have my Better Press here. You know, I went through all these items in the initial video, but you do have 4 stencils here for your flowers, your greenery, the berries, you know, all those things. So of course we'll go through those in just a moment. I just have some heavyweight paper. This is just a standard A2 size that I cut down. The kit does have some white paper in it, but for me, I'm just going to use something that I had in my stash. I am going to cover the little corners because we are going to cut this out anyway with the emerald die set. So if I was going to make this like a big piece and I wanted everything to show, I would make this paper larger so that you can hold it down by the corners, or you can use some double-sided adhesive in between here, and that way there's nothing impeding this area. So let's get this beautiful thing going. Again, I am going to cut away some of this, so there's that, but let's put that there. And I have the new large Better Press black, which is nice because I mean that is the typical color that we use for this kind of thing, so it's nice to have a larger thing, especially for a design like this guy. I'm inking the whole thing up, although the very edges aren't going to be necessary, but there you go. I did get a little piece of fabric from the ink pad, so just make sure that's gone. I'll put this on here. Now you can definitely glimmer these. I think more and more Spellbinders has been putting the plates through the riggers, and it seems to be just fine. So if you want to glimmer these plates, you can do that. You cannot bring glimmer plates to your Better Press though, okay? So any Better Press plates you can put in the glimmer, but the glimmer plates are thicker and you do not want to put them in here because you don't want to mess up your machine. So that's just something to think about and always have that in mind. Oh, I put my fingers, I'll show you right now. I was holding it because I have this box back here, so I want to make sure I cleared the box. I had my fingers in here holding it, and as it came in, I squished my fingers between the machine and this hole. That was funny. I just rolled it back, let my fingers release. This machine has a lot of power, I'll tell you that much. My fingers are not feeling great at the moment. Okay. I mean, crisp, gorgeous. It presses the image in there, so you can kind of see that here where the press is. I didn't put the ink there, but you can see the impression. You can definitely do just the impression on like metallic paper. It looks really pretty. I've done that in the past in other videos, and you guys are like, oh, that's so cool. Because if you just had a piece of metallic paper, no ink or anything, just run through that whole imagery, it looks like it's just embossed, right? Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, it's just so pretty. So, okay, I'm going to clean up, and then we'll start our inking this, right, with the stencils. You know, I recently picked this up there on Spellbinders. You can find this in other spots, but, you know, if you're picking up other things, you might as well throw that in. It's the archival ink cleaner. It has a little pouncy pad. I haven't used it yet, so I thought, you know what, this is probably a good video to use this on. So push up and down. I'm telling you, you don't want to scrape like this because you'll end up ripping this little pad out. So just up and down, like pouncing. If you do want to go across like this, go for it, but just very lightly, guys. You just don't want to tear that little pad off. So pounce, pounce, pounce. Obviously it gets dirty. And then just wipe it off with a paper towel. What I showed you guys early on is you can just use alcohol, just alcohol, you know, from your medicine cabinet or however, and it does a good job because it will remove it for the next time. It might stay stained a little bit, but as you can see, excuse me, it's allergies, all that stuff. It's very early in the morning, and then just like my voice just goes out. You can see that this also leaves a little bit of coloring behind, but the ink itself is gone, right? So when you go to use it next time, it's nice and clean. So anyway, okay, I'll be right back. I'm not 100% sure of all the colors I'll be using. I know there's like these little kind of belly things, you know, your flowers, you have all these things. I am going to use water-based inks. If you use a hybrid ink, it is going to reactivate possibly. It depends on the brand that you're using and what they do to make their inks hybrid. So this is an archival ink. It should not get messed up if you're using alcohol inks. It shouldn't. It should be okay with water-based inks too. Did it tell you on here? I don't know. But either way, water-based inks work really well. But again, if you try to go in here with another hybrid ink, it might reactivate it. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm popping that on there. Again, there are 4 stencils. I mean, depending on what you want to do, if you want to do some glittering, some other stuff, you know, you're going to want to maybe even go out of order. But I'm starting with number 1, and oh, okay, perfect. I didn't know if this was facing the same way, you know. It could be upside down or however. So anyway, it looks like I have it the way that number 1 is intended, the way this was meant to be. So you're just looking at the roses right now is what we're coloring. And I haven't thought anything about colors other than I want reds and pinks and things like that. You know, maybe. I mean, it is Christmassy. I was thinking about maybe making these pink. And then making the berries darker red, and then these other ones kind of like a different shade of red. So, I'm just going to take a pink-ish. Let's do this blossom one. And this is a red brush. I should probably get a different one, but that's okay. So I'm just going to come in here. And I kind of start in the center of the flower as much as I can and maybe work my way out. There we go. And again, I don't try to get a uniform color, so I don't really try to be so heavy-handed that the whole flower is just like completely pink or however. I do like to have a little bit of the accent, maybe some lighter tones. This part is probably going to get cut off anyway because we are coming in with this die, remember? So I'll still color the whole thing, but you know, like this bottom corner doesn't really need to be paid attention to too much. But there you go, that's number 1. And yes, I'm using a grip mat. This happens to be a diamond press grip mat. I am in love with it. They are currently sold out, so if you watch this video in the future and they're there, I will link them, but for right now, as I'm making this video, they are not available. And then we're going to match up the next one. So we have greenery on this one. And so you have holly leaves, but you also have the greenery that goes to the roses. So, you know, if you want to make those different greens, I think it's pretty easy to do that. I'm just lining everything up here. I don't think you should have too much of a problem using different greens. So, now this guy, this is a big head brush, but if you want to grab a smaller one, you know, go for it. I think for the roses, I'll try to do this lighter green. So I'm going to start with lighter. It looks like all this is rose up here, so I'm just going to go in with that. In here, over here. There's some holly over here, but there are some green. I'm doing the lighter one first because if I go with the darker one, it won't matter, right? You're just going to color over that so I can see these are kind of close. There we go. There's some flower, a little greenery again. A lot of this might be chopped away anyhow. And it looks like there's some little kind of accent berries that have a different kind of green here, like in here. So something to think about if you want to use a different green on those guys. They might come up later because I can see that there's some greenery here that we're not addressing yet. So I'm assuming that's going to come up later. And then let's go with the dark green for this holly area. Again, that's going to get cut away anyway, but just so it's definitely a different green than the others. I think that's it. This one, I should mention at the top of the video, Spellbinders does have a $125 off of a $25 cart automatically, and if you're a member, of course, you have your 10% off. And then once you reach $125, you get an automatic 25 off. So I will have the information there. I believe it ends July 14th. More greenery, some centers, I think. So we're just going to take that guy and line it up. Right there, that looks pretty good. Okay, so these little flower centers, I'm not sure. I was going to use like a yellow. I don't know if it needs yellow, but again, more greenery. That can definitely be a different color green, so I'm just going to do that. This has a lot of different colors green. Shades of green on it. I'm going to wipe some of that down, because what I'll do for this is maybe go with a lighter green, see how that works out. So as you can see, I'm getting just a little bit of greenery, and these can be the same color. I'm not going to be too picky about this one being different from like that one, and that's fine. In here, so in here I'll be a little more careful because there's one of those little flower centers pretty close by. I just want to get the green on the very tip of this thing. There we go. Again, that might be cut away anyway, but I do want to show you what this looks like. Okay, a little different greenery, and I don't really know what those bell things are called in real life, so I'm going to use a yellow. I just brought out a tiny yellow. I don't want it to be too obvious, just a little something. So just a little bit of yellow on that. I think that's everything on this one. And then we have our fourth one. Look at that. Just prettier and prettier and prettier. And then the fourth one brings it home with finishing up those bells, and it looks like some berries. So a lot of red things in my opinion on this one. But again, wouldn't that be pretty to do like a winterscape, so it's like blues and purples and like silvers? I think that'd be really pretty. Okay. Let me put these things away. I'm gonna grab some red inks. For my reds, let's go with a little bit lighter red, and I probably should use a smaller head, but that's okay for it in here. So I'm gonna start with the light red, so that, and if it touches the other little flowers, I don't mind that because I'm going to go over that anyway with the darker red. So we have those guys in here, and down here there's a ton of them. Okay, and then I'm going to go with the darker red for this area. It's just those two little bunches of flowers there, basically. And they're very similar. Okay. Oh my goodness. I keep switching the lids of these guys out. I think I've switched them. That's okay. Now let's take a look at what that would look like. It's very pretty. Look at that. Again, much brighter on these guys, and that's what I was going for. And then we're going to trim this down. So I'm actually going to go ahead and take this off of here. Wash that off. And I'm going to find a spot. Maybe I want more of these little berries or these little guys. You know, I'll just find the spot that I think looks best and run that through. Okay, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so we have this. I will give you a quick measurement on the metal to metal on this one because I know some people have smaller machines and you really want to know. It's 4.5 inches, guys, by almost 5 3/4. It's the width really that you're going to want to pay attention to on that one. So we have that, we have this, and we have this guy. So shiny, oh my goodness. And, oh, got a little something on there. Okay, let's, I guess it doesn't matter right now. Let's make sure our card is facing the right way. Gorgeous paper. Again, this stuff is like double-sided, so it's just really, it's awesome when you go to cut it. If you want to gut this area so you can use it for something else, you can definitely do that. I'm just going to go ahead and glue this down. Actually, let's go ahead and glue this one down first. So I'm going to glue this guy on right on it because I'm going to pop up our sentiment. So honestly, if you were going to use maybe the same gold, what I would have done for the sentiment is run it through at the same time that you run through the matte layer, and then that way you would just have this, you know, cut out of the center part, and it would have been a good way to kind of conserve that paper. I think I'm gonna grab like some accent color. Oh, sorry, I'm like over here. That is so pretty. It nestles in so nicely. They have like a really, it just has a really nice edge there for you. That up just a little bit. There we go. Okay, I'm holding that down. And then this guy, I'm also going to just put the glue behind this area. This is not porous at all. It's going to take a while to set up. So I'm just going to put the glue back there. I'm not going to put it in this fluted area. And I'm going to turn the card over. I got a little schmutz on the other side of that card. And honestly, if you wanted to, you can just cut away these corners too. Like if you want the card just to be like this shape. You know what? Let's do that. Why not? I'm just going to take a scissor and do that, but you can definitely put this on your paper trimmer. And I'm angling it a little bit. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So you can kind of get behind that instead of leaving like a little white edge. You're kind of tucking that, angling as best you can into that area there. Okay, I'll do the same thing on all 4 corners. You guys, that looks really cool. Okay, well that was good. Good little stroke of creativity there that came to me. Okay, delivering joy. So these are again the sentiments that you can add on to the handmade holidays. Christmas wishes, happy holidays. Let's do Christmas wishes, and what I'm going to do is run this through some white paper just by itself, and then I'm going to run this through maybe some red or some other accent color of like a metallic paper, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys. So the reason I ran it through white paper is because it does carve away the lettering. If you see there's still some of the paper in there, you can just take like a pokey tool or something and just kind of clean it out, but that looks like everything got carved out, so it looks very good. And then I have the white paper here, so I'm just going to glue these guys together and then we'll pop it onto our card. Now honestly, you can even drop shadow this if you wanted to. I think that looks cute, so maybe that's what I'll do. Yeah, so that's a little bit different than what I normally do. I would just put the one behind the other, but that looks really cute. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this together quite patiently. because they're both kind of slippery papers. Oh, I said I was going to drop shadow it this way, wasn't I? Okay. A little bit coming out of the bottom. There we go. So it's at the bottom and to the right a little bit. I'm just going to hold that together and then put some dimensionals on the back once it's ready. Okay guys, so we have that beautiful Better Press stenciled in look back there. Flowers bringing some of that red out, and I think I will put this right here. So Christmas wishes, and there's our card. And if you're making masks of these, you know, you just better press, better press, better press, just keep inking out, better pressing, and then stencil, 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 you know, just, I would do it, you know, the first, number 1, color them all in, number 2, do them all, number 3, do them all, you know, it's a really easy way to get that done. So gorgeous card, and I really love just chopping away those bits there. This is a really nice die set, the gem, excuse me, and this is just a gorgeous die set, the emerald set here. I, you know, love it. Alright guys, and it has a little tag, the smaller one. I forgot to mention, guys. They've been doing that recently. Spellbinders, the smaller of a nesting set, is usually a tag. So, there you go. Alright guys, well thanks for watching. I'll have the links in the description box. I'll have emails coming up. No, I'll have images coming up, and I will see you all at the next one. Bye now.